Hello and welcome back. So this is going to be about getting a passport for a single mother by choice and then traveling. So far we've only done one big travel. I went from Phoenix to California, stayed there a couple days, and then California to Hawaii with a 3.5-year-old. Did not do it by myself though. My parents were there with me because it was a family little vacation. So tips and tricks. So on the way there, so airports, I checked in my car seat and my stroller. Didn't want to deal with that at the airport, so I carried my son, and it was perfect. You go through security faster because you don't have to like tear down a stroller. I guess you don't tear down a stroller. They let you like stroll it in, but I don't know. I just thought it was pretty easy. And then takeoff and landing. You obviously can't have him in the front pack, but if you wanted to during the flight, you can put him back in. So one item that I brought that was my lifesaver was my breastfeeding pillow. I was that person that walked around the airport with my son on my chest, backpack on my back with like all my diaper bag stuff, and holding a breastfeeding pillow as my carry-on too. Nobody questioned anything. It was fine, but I don't think I've ever seen another mom carry a breastfeeding pillow, and I have my breast friend pillow. Highly recommend it. I just love that it straps and it's tight. It's more hands-free than the boppy, and because the boppy can shift and move, and it's not as like flat. So I brought that. So from California to Phoenix, I don't even need to talk about that flight. It was just an hour. Basically, we get on the flight. And then because you bring a child, I did Southwest, so you don't have priority specifically because all the A board people board and then you board. So, and then I did that, and it's kind of dumb because it's like me and him, and I think at that point they let my mom go too. So there was just all of us, just us, because she was in Phoenix at the time. So we went. I breastfed on, I think just landing, because takeoff he was already sleeping. He had a pasty in his mouth, and then he was fine. So that flight was easy. Airport was easy. Again, I take him out of the carrier the entire flight. I had my breastfeeding pillow around me. And what also was amazing that I feel like saves me is I bought an Amazon sweatshirt. Plains always cold, but it was also, I think March, that had zippers for breastfeeding. So I also brought like a breastfeeding cover for people, but I feel like I didn't need it on the flight because I sat next to the window, and then my mom sat next to me, and then I used that. Good trick for Southwest as well. So I was flying with my mom, and so she was flying with me originally, so it was easy. I think no, actually they wouldn't let my mom go. It was just me. She had to wait to get on the flight. So what I did was I changed his diaper on the seat. So I laid him flat, and I was acting like I was getting a diaper out and all of that stuff. So all the people would walk by, and nobody's gonna be like, excuse me, I'm gonna sit there. Can you move your child? So I did that. And I did that like all of the flights. Put him down like I was gonna change his diaper, put the diaper thing underneath him, was getting diaper out, looking through my diaper bag for what, 20 minutes until my mom got it, or 10 minutes, but it works. So tips and tricks: pretend like you're changing your kid's diaper on the seat if you're doing Southwest, and nobody's gonna come sit next to you. So that was good. That was on the way to California. On the way to Hawaii, we left, I don't remember what the time, so I can't even tell you. And at that point, I don't know if he was like during specifics, like nap time. Like now he is 9 months, so 9 months tomorrow, so he does nap times. But I don't know if he did specific nap times exactly then. I think he just did so many. He did. It was like every 3-hour naps. So yeah, but I don't remember. Anyways, again, went through. We did it. So I live in Phoenix. My family lives in Los Angeles. So we chose Long Beach Airport because it's much smaller, much easier to travel in and out of. So we did that to Hawaii. So again, I checked in everything because you check in your car seat and my stroller. And I have an upper baby stroller, so I bought the upper baby bag, and it was expensive. It was like $200 maybe, or 150, I think. That's expensive. But I still have him in the car seat, the Mesa car seat that you can buy for it or with it. And so I had a bag for the Mesa car seat. So one thing I didn't like about the Mesa bag, it doesn't have wheels. And it has straps to wear it as a backpack, and absolutely doesn't work as a backpack. So it was awkward. Put it on it. That was the most difficult part of traveling. Not with the stroller, because the stroller bag has wheels and it's super easy. Like, I had Colin on my front, my son, obviously Colin, a backpack of my carry-on stuff, my luggage in one hand, and the stroller in the other hand. And my mom was the one that was trying to carry the car seat, which was an absolute pain. So I would recommend, if you do have the Mesa, it's like, I would buy the bag maybe, but it's like $80 or something. And then maybe invest in something that you could put wheels on or something on it, because it's not travel friendly. That bag is absolutely not travel friendly. If you have any tips or tricks to it, please let me know, because it was awful. So yeah. So got to Hawaii again, had the backpack. Perfect. Got to Hawaii, had the backpack. It was awesome. The flight to Hawaii is about 5.5 hours from LAX, maybe less, somewhere in the 5-hour range. On the way there, miracles happen. Because now my dad's with me. Again, I changed his diaper while I waited for my parents to come through. And they sat with me because the plane on the way to Hawaii was 100% full. So I was like, we didn't have a choice 3 in a row. And then Colin was a lap sitter. And I was lucky with him. I sat against the window. Again, I didn't need to have my wrap because I just had my zipper. I had my breastfeeding pillow. Unzip it, put them on the boob. The way that the sweatshirt was, which if you want to know, let me know. I will send you the link. I don't know how to do all those links in my stuff. But it was so worth it. I think if I'm still breastfeeding enough when I go to my next trip, which will be again in March, we're going a Europe trip. I might buy a second of these sweatshirts because it was awesome. I literally fed him when he was awake. I played with him, tossed him to my mom, tossed him to my dad at the time. He came back to me. It was time to feed him and put him back to sleep. He did not cry once. It was absolutely amazing. Again, I think takeoff, I put him on the boob. Landing, I think he was pacifying because he had fallen asleep. So I made sure the pacifier was in his mouth. Wasn't while he slept. I put it in there. He just started to suck. I was lucky he didn't. Again, the whole way there, he didn't cry. I was like, oh. But I kept him fed and happy. Airport's fine. I mean, airports are airports. It kind of sucked in Hawaii because then you have to take a tram to rental cars, and that took forever. Then you got to get your rental car. Again, I think the thing that was the worst was the Mesa bag. Was just, luckily my dad was there now, so we had an extra hand. Awful. On the way back from Hawaii, again, we moved to Hawaii to LAX. I did the same thing. Pretend like I was changing his diaper. But I actually think they let my dad walk with me, so then it was just my mom. And it was not a full flight. We were told, I'm very lucky that I have two cousins, and I'm married, so 2 cousins that work for Southwest. So she looked it up and said, on your flight home, there's like 50 available seats. I was like, perfect. So I sat in one seat. My dad came with me. He sat in the row across from ours. Again, I changed diaper. So then somebody sat next to my dad, and then my mom ended up sitting. So then we had an entire empty row, which was always nice. Just to be able to even put stuff like underneath my seat in that seat. So now I have more leg room. Again, he didn't cry much. Like 3.5 months is a great time to travel with your child. And I'm anxious when it comes to that because I'm like, I don't want him to cry. And like, had people be super fussy, but it was good. No. And then the next day we made it all the way to LAX. Again, I did the same thing when he was awake. I would play with him. My mom would hold him. My dad would hold him. Come back to me. It was time to feed. So it wasn't too bad at all. So I recommend that if you are traveling alone, I think I brought like some toys. I probably would have just bought more of like whatever toy he was into at 3.5 months. I have the Love Every subscription, which if you don't have it, get it. It's the best. Like, my son plays with the Love Every toys the most out of every toy that I get. Like, he does like a lot of sound toys too though. So I highly recommend, if you're gonna only buy so many toys, if you have like a small apartment, get the Love Every subscription. And then if you're gonna buy him any other toy, get him stuff that was sound and lights, because he absolutely loves those too. But like, he doesn't really need anything else. Like, Love Every comes with like one of those books with like the squishy pages, and their Love Every's, oh my god, it is phenomenal. That's one of the things that I brought with me, and it's a big book, and I brought it with me to and from Hawaii and LA, and he loves it. He still likes it. And he is 9 months. Well, tomorrow. And I think that was his first or second box. But highly recommend the Love Every. Yes, it could get pricey. I have been gifted that from his Aunt Janelle. I'm so thankful for her and this gift. She has done it from now until he turns 1, and then I'll take over and do those boxes. But it's worth it. 100% worth it. Do it. We all buy our kids gifts. So and this isn't sponsored by Love Every, because nobody knows me. But let me just tell you, amazing. I love them. Recommend it. Anyway, so all the toys that I brought were from Love Every. Loves them. And he plays with them. And he also loves music. He loves Encanto. So when he was born, he was a NICU baby for 16 days, and when I was pumping, I would like play the Encanto soundtrack while I was pumping every night, because I would know once I hit a certain song. I had done 15 minutes, so then 30 minutes, because I was doing bilaterally. Once I hit a certain song, I would turn off the pump and go to bed. And so when he did come home from the NICU and I was breastfeeding him, I realized that this song was 15 minutes, and then I would switch him. And so he's grown up listening to Encanto, like, because I did that every 3 hours. It would keep me awake. Like, if not, I would almost fall asleep with him. You're a new mom, especially then. So he listens to Encanto, and it's the only thing he'll watch is Encanto. Like, he'll actually sit and stop and watch it, which honestly I think is one thing that has saved me a lot, and especially in traveling. Like, in Hawaii, we had a rental car. We drove everywhere. Things aren't like 10 seconds away. They're like an hour away from your destination. I would play Encanto soundtrack and he'd be happy. He would not cry. It was amazing. The only time he cried on the flight was on the way home from LA to Phoenix, or Long Beach to Phoenix. He cried some of that flight, but I think it's because he was overflying. It had been so long of a travel. But he was so good. And he mainly cried when it was time to get off the flight, because he was like done, and I had to strap him back in, and I'm like waiting to get off, and then he cried, but it wasn't bad. So, passport as a single mother by choice. I have my dog Shine right here. I have a Frenchie and an English, which is right there. Traveling as a single mother by choice. I'm not traveling, excuse me. Passport wasn't as challenging as I expected. I actually had such anxiety yesterday because I realized that I booked the appointment because it was the only appointment. I live in Phoenix. There's plenty of United States Postal Services around us. You have to make reservations to do it. And we were potentially going to go to Canada in December. So I was like, I need to book this now. And I was thinking, okay, it'll be like a 2 or 3 week. No, it was like, I think 5 weeks after I booked it was the newest appointment. And it was on a Sunday at noon. So I took it without even thinking that he likes to eat lunch at noon. So I did have quite anxiety last night. I couldn't really sleep because I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, we drive there. I have to leave my house at 11:30ish. noon is his time. Our appointment is from 12 to 12:30. And then typically like 1:30 is like his nap time. So luckily he is 9 months tomorrow. All the snacks. He is obsessed with like the Gerber little, I don't know, they're shaped as little stars. I don't know what they are, but he loves those. And then the melts he loves. He just started eating the little cheesy puff things. Except I have to hold it, because if not, he'll just shove it all in his mouth and then he doesn't know what to do. I literally have to hold it and he'll bite it, and then it's pretty gross. But he loves snacks, so I brought some of the melts with me, and he threw those in his mouth while I was making sure the application and everything. So I renewed my passport, and he was a new passport, and then of course we did our pictures, and I think his is cute. He's like looking like it's adorable. Me, on the other hand, I was like, okay, I read, they want a natural smile. So I was like, my lady was like, that's too big. So I she rejected that one too. So then it's not a cute picture. That close up, not a cute, but whatever. It's 10 years of that picture. She did question me twice about like the father aspect. She was looking at my paperwork. Since the father's not here, because you have to notarize. You gotta get a notary to notarize that it's okay if the father's not there or the other parent isn't there. And I was like, oh, no, he doesn't have a father. And she was like, oh, well, the person that helped you make the baby, does he needs to sign it? And I was like, sperm donor, unless you know how to contact him. And then she was like, oh, okay. And that was it. It's so cute. Thank God. I know they need the original birth certificate, but I made copies of the birth certificate. Why? I made like 3. Thank God I brought the original, because that's what they take. Duh, I remember now when I had turned my stuff in. They take the original. And then his social security, I left it blank on the application, and then I was like, I don't have that with me. Thank God I took a picture somewhere on my phone. So those were the 2 things that I was like, oh, thank goodness I brought the original, and I had a picture of that, so write it in. And then it was fine. Hopefully the photos will get approved and everything will be good, because we are doing, when I say we, me and my son, and then my parents, and then my best friend, we are all going to Europe in March. We usually do a big family trip in March, but my sister, her husband, and kids can't come because they're going to Hawaii. They already had that planned. So we are doing, we're going from LAX to Madrid, and then Madrid to the south of France, and we're staying in Nice. We're gonna hopefully hit up like Cairns and Saint-Tropez to Monte Carlo, and then we end our trip in London, which I did go to school in Oxford for a little bit, so I've been in and out of London a couple times. This will be besides like living over there, this will be my 3rd or 4th time like in London. So I will be super flexible and do anything and everything my travel counterparts want to do. Anyways, I guess I didn't really offer too much besides, as a single mother, just make sure you have the original birth certificate and their social security. And I went to a place that took pictures, so I didn't have to worry about that, 'cause one-stop shop. And try not to do it during their nap time, like, and lunchtime, like I did. And then if you're traveling with a young one and you're doing Southwest, that's what I'd recommend to do. Just pretend like you're changing their diaper, because that really helped. Anyways, I will let you know when I get my passport that everything worked out good and it came. Oh, and want to know the price? Mine was a renewal. His was a new one, and I didn't do the passport card, and then I got the regular passport size. I want to say it was 308 or 328. I don't remember which one it was. I think I blanked out, but I knew it was going to be in the 300s anyways. If you want to expedite, it's another $60 each on top of that. because I'm not going to Canada now in December, decided not to spend an extra 120. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. If you're a single mother by choice, have any questions with that, let me know. If you want to know another video, my son is gonna be 9 months tomorrow, and I'm an avid, well, I want to be an avid traveler. I also live by myself, in a state by myself. So my family lives in California, I live in Arizona. So if anybody wants to know how I am able to do any of that by myself as a single mother by choice, I can do a video on that too. Let me know. Okay, thanks.